So the astrology of the week of 8 March 2021 to 14 March 2021 brings us into this kind of expanded spiritual moment, this almost dissipated energy, where we're yearning, I think, here for an interconnectedness, for that reach for the divine, where our hearts may be wanting something, wanting the potential, that seed of connection to fully flower against the backdrop of everything we've got going on as we're entering the spring. All right, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you can join me this week. And I'm looking forward to offering in this video a tarot reading about this week of astrology and just a little bit of a hint of some of the aspects that are important. I'll be releasing videos on those aspects that fully break them down. Let's get the tarot reading. So yeah, this is a cool week. A lot of Ketu, a lot of the south, the south bending being associated with Ketu. Neptune in Pisces, that great spiritual dissipation of the self. Venus exalted in Pisces, a love for God, a love for the divine, a love for truth and wisdom. This is the feature of the week. And yeah, let's see what the cards say, because I'm very curious. The themes are so stark this week. There's so much energy around this idea of spirituality and desiring connection and interconnectedness and kind of letting go of the self, that I'll be curious to see if there's a confirmation here, or if the cards want to bring something totally different into the picture. So let's get that first card. Okay. First card is Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds. Wow. This is the Taurus energy, the bull. Venus rules Taurus, so there's a certain reminder about Venus's earth sign domicile and the body, and more of the physical side and the tactile side of desire and pleasure. I think here my sense though is that Mars just left Taurus. We just got Mars into Gemini last week, and just reflecting a little bit. This is that first position, so anytime I see a card in the first position, it's always about maybe the recent past. Reflecting here, how difficult was your Mars in Taurus? How much were you maybe lagging or weighted down by that fixed physical, visceral energy, that cool energy? Earth signs are cold, so there's a cooling energy with the earth sign Taurus, where Mars maybe just got too really turned off. And I know a lot of people, especially with the overcoming square from Saturn that Mars experienced for 7 months, that there was this real sense of limitation and restriction and slow movement that we're now getting free from. So this is something I think it underscores for me how these themes this week are playing out. It's like Mars was in Taurus. We couldn't act. We were restricted. We were almost, just the lethargy was heavy duty. Now that we're freed from that, Mars is in Gemini. We can use the words. We can use the language. We can write. We can think. We can deploy. We can plan. Mercury and Jupiter are still co-present in Aquarius. It's almost like, I think here saying, what can we now do that we've been wanting to do? I know for myself, there's just been a lot of, I always have to-do lists, and it's, never ending. But now there's some real energy that's come in. And so how do I want to use the energy? How do I want to use the momentum and the activity that Mars is bringing? This Mars in Gemini transit's only 6 weeks. Then Mars goes to Cancer, which changes the martial energy. I think we'll still be able to use some of the Mars there, but there's unique challenges with Mars and Cancer. Some good things about it too. But then Mars opposes Saturn when Mars hits Leo. And so in a way, this Mars in Gemini is kind of the sweetest Mars we'll have this 6 weeks until later in the year. So think about what you were restricted from with Mars and Taurus, and then now what you can do as Mars gets stronger in the sky. That's my read of seeing this Queen of Diamonds card, the Queen of Diamonds being the Taurus energy. Okay, so let's get that second card. Yeah, I'm just so impressed with how the astrology worked out with that Mars ingress into Gemini, and just how, something jumped out, and we know what that means. When a card jumps out, that's the card that gets pulled. Now we're going to deal with La Force, strength or lust. Great card here. This is the Leo energetic, the Leo energy. the great fire of life, the great fire of who we are, the great transmutation of maybe lower passion and transmuting it for higher purposes. You think here about sexuality. Often this card is depicted maybe as a sexual being or as kind of an undertone of sexuality. Sexuality is part of the fire element. It's that great power of generation, right? That generative power we all have to find attraction. You know, that dance of erotic love and sex can often be so under the surface. We don't even know what's happening because there's this innate drive, biological urge to reproduce and to, you know, what do we say? What's the word I'm looking for? To, you know, to consecrate that physical act, to, you know, to know someone, to come together physically. So that, you know, if we can transmute that, and it's great to embrace that. I mean, we're all, especially when we're young, we're just out there doing, you know, going with that, with our so-called lower nature. But I think as we get older, there's a way to feel that power of that urge and use it for other purposes and transmute it. You know, the alchemical traditions and the occult traditions in the West, especially since maybe the turn of the 19th and the 20th century, there's a whole strain that deals with transmutation of the sexual energy. Crowley, the OTO, these schools really, and then the various offshoots, and every group always has infighting, but basically there's this notion, and it's not just in Western occultism, you've got it in Taoism, this is very big, retention of the sexual energy and then transmutation. You have it in the South Asian spiritual systems where you work with that energy as a way to shoot it up the spine, maybe open up higher you know, parts of consciousness. So this is where I go with seeing this card, especially in a week where the astrology is telling us the spiritual focus, the yearning for the divine, the love for God. That's the Venus in Jupiter ruled Pisces. That's very much connected here to this card, this lust card, because Jupiter rules the fire sign Sagittarius, but also rules Pisces. This is a card of transmutation. You know, she's holding that lion, she's containing it, the power of that force, she's containing it. And so there's this idea that we can sort of control those urges and then use them for whatever we want to use them for. You know, I see on Twitter a lot of these popular tweets, people say, don't ever masturbate unless you're going to use it to manifest, or don't have sex unless you're going to use it to manifest. And that's the spirit of this card and of this week, because of everything that's kicking up with the south bending. The lunation cycle begins with that new moon squaring the nodes, which are always a spiritual energy. Neptune and Venus so close there. So that's where I go with this. And if there's, you know, I don't mean to be, you know, I guess, look, I think we should speak more about sex and be open about sexual energy. It's something that I think the culture has, there's a certain prudishness, and it's how we do it, right? I mean, I want to do it here with giving those moments, those very intimate but powerful moments, all the respect they deserve. And so it's the spirit of this card and what I'm offering here with this card. So think about what action you need to do, and maybe use and transmute some of that sexual energy to get into that Mars and Gemini feature of this next 6 weeks. So that's the tarot reading for this week. So thanks for being here. As always, you can book tarot and astrology readings with me, sjanderson144.com. Just click here to schedule a reading. So just enjoy the week. Enjoy this very spiritualized sense of divine interconnectivity that's on offer this week. Savor it, because this type of energy has not been here for months. I mean, I've been doing these weekly reviews for a long time. This is a special opportunity to feel some of this kind of spiritualized, unseen force of reality coming into our lives. So enjoy it.